Hello, writers. Writing fight scenes can be a tricky thing for many screenwriters. How exactly do you lay out the fight scene on the page? Do you describe every blow and gunshot, or do you leave most of it to the director? And if so, how much? Welcome to the Script Reader Pro Fight Club, where we'll be answering those questions and more. First rule of the Script Reader Pro Fight Club is you don't talk about the script reader. Actually, you kind of have to, or you won't learn anything. Never mind, cue the intro. Number 1. Switch between macro and micro. The most common question we get on how to write a fight scene is how detailed does it need to be? Let's start by taking a look at both extremes. Example number 1. Jonah stumbles into the clearing to find himself face to face with Max. They fight to the death and Jonah wins. Example 2. Jonah stumbles into the clearing to find himself face to face with Max. Max immediately strikes the side of Jonah's neck with all of his fingers held straight and tightly together. Jonah responds by using the heel of his palm to strike up under Max's nose. He throws the whole weight of his body into the move, causing Max to cry out in pain as his nasal cavity cracks. But Max rallies and brings up his knee and swiftly turns his hip over, snapping the right leg outward from the knee to deliver a strike to Jonah's head with the ball of his foot, and so on. Neither of these two styles are recommended. Example 1 tells us what happens on the macro level, but nothing about what we're actually supposed to see on the screen. It's all summation and no emotion. All responsibility is handed over to the director and the stunt coordinator, while the reader is left to imagine what happened themselves. Example 2, on the other hand, tells us everything that happens on the micro level and too much about what we're seeing on the screen. Nothing is left to the director, stunt coordinator, or reader's imagination. When writing fight scenes, the trick is to combine both examples and describe the fight scene on the macro as well as the micro level. The macro level describes a similar series of blows, parries, gunshots, swords thrusts, etc. over a short period of time. Think of this as a general overview that gives the reader a strong sense of style of the fight taking place, but without describing every little detail. The micro level description of the culmination of these blows when something significant happens that moves the scene in a new direction. 2. Use one line per camera shot. This technique can be used while writing all kinds of description, but is particularly useful when writing fight scenes. Become close friends with your return and/or enter key. Tab down to the next line every time the action switches perspectives so that each line becomes a camera shot. Keep these points in mind when writing a fight scene. Keep your sentences and paragraphs short. Use emotional verbs and adjectives. Employ all caps sporadically to draw attention to exciting moments. Hit your return key every time you want to imply a new camera shot. Number 3, set the stage. Rather than writing fight scenes by just stating interior, warehouse, night, and then barreling into the action, it can be useful to take a step back and consider the location. What kind of space does your fight scene take place in? How might it affect the ensuing fight? Is it indoors or outdoors? Opened or confined? Are there bystanders around or not? Is this a mundane location or an unusual one? Spend time establishing the location in your mind so you can translate this into the script and the fight scene itself. Ask yourself how the characters might exploit the location. Where can they hide? What decoys can they use? A fight that takes place in a hotel bathroom is obviously going to have an entirely different feel and set of possibilities than one that weaves in and out and around letters of the Hollywood sign. Describing a fight scene is easier if you're intimately familiar with the location. Take a pad and pencil and physically sketch out the character's fighting space on paper. Look up pictures of it online. Do you know anyone who's more familiar with the location than you are? If so, talk to them. All of this will help you visualize the space and how the characters might interact with it. Sketching out or at least visualizing the location will help give the fight scene a greater sense of realism when it comes to you actually writing it. better yet, visit the kind of location you have in mind. If your fight scene takes place in a warehouse, the woods, or the back of a limousine, actually go to those locations and get inspired. Just being in the physical space will make it easier to put yourself in your character's shoes as they fight. In sum, choose your location carefully, understand it, and make sure you fully exploit all of the possibilities. Number 4, read fight scene scripts. One of the best ways to learn how to write a fight scene in a script is by seeing how the pros do it. You can check out the links in the description to help get you started. There must also be a purpose behind the fight scenes. A common fault that fight scenes and spec scripts is that they serve no particular purpose. Things get shot up, thugs get beaten up for a couple pages, and that's that, without any story or character development. It's important to remember that as moviegoers, we're not nearly as interested in every cool martial arts move or double tap to the bad guy's head as we are about the stakes involved in the fight scene. As you read the script in the description and before writing any fight scenes, keep these questions in mind. What's at stake for the protagonist? What are they fighting for? What does this scene move forward? How does this scene reveal the character? Number 5, research the fighting style. Often fight scenes descriptions in a script feel unrealistic because the writer doesn't know much about the type of fight they're describing. It's fairly quick and easy to get familiar with a particular fighting style or the rudiments of handguns, and is well worth it if you want to create a more realistic fight scene. Here are a few ideas. Read blog posts, watch YouTube videos, attend demos or contests, talk to experts, take classes yourself. We're not suggesting you have to describe every move in minute detail, but you should be familiar enough with the rudiments of the sport that you can add some color to your fight scene. Our last piece of advice when writing fight scenes is this. You're not writing just any old fight scene that's identical to a billion others out there. This is your fight scene that's original and specific to your script. Always ask yourself, what sets this fight apart from the rest? What's different about its location, style, tone, and stakes? For example, the first fight scene in Kill Bill between the bride and Vernita is memorable and special not really because of the cool moves they pull off. It's memorable because of the stakes surrounding the bride's mission and all the tension Tarantino builds before she even starts fighting. Also, when writing a fight scene, don't forget that they should follow many of the same rules when writing a normal scene, a 3-act structure, reversal, and so on. Well, writers, that's all the time we have for today. If you found this video helpful, make sure you leave a like and a comment below. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. Also, there are other videos for you to check out if you want to continue your script writing journey. My name is Elijah Lee. This has been Script Reader Pro, and I will see you guys next time.